So one thing I've noticed recently is that so many people put a really big handicap on their ability to get any kind of meaningful work done. You're probably wondering what I mean by this. So basically, imagine you're doing some kind of meaningful work. It could be homework, it could be creating something worthwhile like a story or a YouTube video, it could be making a business plan for an upcoming business venture. And so just imagine you're working on it, and then suddenly you hear your phone ding, like a text. What does your mind immediately think? Well, you have to go answer the phone. You have to see who texted you. Because you just can't help not knowing. I heard about this recently. I believe it's called the Zeigarnik effect. It's basically the idea that whenever you hear something or see something in your life, you want to resolve it immediately. You don't want to let it go unnoticed. You want to complete it and see what happens. And when you don't, it's extremely unsatisfying. It's just nearly painful. However, the problem with this is that it's completely destroying your ability to focus. I was watching a recent podcast episode with Cal Newport, the writer of the book Deep Work. And so I don't know all about neurology, so I can't say for 100% certainty if this is completely how it works, but he was kind of saying that he thinks that, Cal Newport thinks, in the brain, there are different processes that must happen in order for you to do different tasks obviously. So there's a different process maybe to read and write stuff versus to exercise or to sleep. In order for you to get the best work done, you have to prioritize which one you need at the given moment. But when you're constantly switching between different tasks, like doing work and then checking your phone and then going on YouTube, you're constantly switching through different brain functions. You don't give your brain the chance to focus on just one and get all the necessary work done in just one area. You're constantly making it switch and putting more exertion on it than it needs to. Most people don't really think about how your brain is just like an amazing creation. Like you literally have a amazing supercomputer in your mind at all times. You literally are living with so much capability just within you at all 100% of the time. And literally every single person who is sentient and conscious, which I assume is most people, have this capability. And it's amazing how much people neglect it and put so much extra obstacle on it when they could be maximizing its potential so much more. All of this is to say that when you're doing some kind of work, you really have to play a game. And that game is see how long you can focus on it without being distracted. For some people, you might lose extremely quickly. For other people, you may be able to last hours. However, it's really a skill that you have to build every single time you do work. I look at the work that I do for some of my classes at school, and to be honest, some of it is pretty pointless, not gonna lie. But nevertheless, I still think it's pretty worthwhile most of the time because when you're doing homework, it forces you to focus on something that you may not really want to focus on. It forces you to build that skill because you have to see how long can you focus on this homework without getting distracted, without, clicking on your phone, without going on Discord for some of us. You could probably really gamify it if you want to, like see how long can you focus without doing something else and then time yourself and then do it again and see how long you can focus that time and try to beat your score. Honestly, sounds pretty fun now that I think about it. I might try that. But this is important if you want to get any kind of significant work done. As explained in the book Deep Work by Cal Newport, the actual book, every kind of meaningful discovery throughout history was likely based off of deep work. Every inventor had to spend countless hours deeply engrossed in whatever they were doing. They didn't have the chance to be distracted all the time, and if they did, they likely never got any meaningful work done because their brain was under so much different stress and so much more exertion than they needed to. The goal is just to be focused on one thing. And as explained in that podcast episode, this doesn't necessarily mean a flow state. A lot of people talk about the flow state, the idea that you can just be concentrated on something and barely even notice the passage of time. But Cal Newport was saying in that episode that it's not really like this. Sometimes deep work means being so focused on something that you actually do notice every single moment you pass by. Being so focused on something that you feel like you're seriously draining a lot of energy because of how much you're focusing on this and how much brain energy you're using. Really using your brain as a muscle. That's sometimes what it takes to really get deep work done. It can be exhausting sometimes to really focus on something heavily. But when you do, you'll be amazed at how much more work you do. You can also be amazed at how much faster you do it. When you're not constantly checking your phone every 2 seconds, you can get a lot of work done really quickly. I know just me personally, I recorded 4 different videos today in the span of like 2 or 3 hours, and edited them and uploaded them all in just the span of a couple of hours. And that was just because I focused on it completely. I didn't allow myself to be distracted. So it's not only is useful and beneficial to you in terms of the success you may get, but also it just helps you save time. It helps you be more efficient and stop wasting so much time as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Jimmy, signing off.